welcome to our super special Wednesday night. Happy birthday, Paint and Chat. It is Josh's birthday stream. Did everybody bring Josh a present?
Yep.
Did everybody bring Josh a piece of cake?
Nope.
No, Josh actually celebrated his birthday with his normal family and friends on his birthday. So we just decided to move our stream and call it our super special Josh birthday stream. But that's the only specialness that Josh gets for his birthday is the name of the stream. If you are joining us tonight and you are new, welcome. The whole point of Paint and Chat is not only to hang out with us, but also is to work on something yourself. So if you have a painting or a drawing or a model or something that you could be working on, bust it out. Come work with us. As always, I am myself, Aaron. We also got Big Aaron. We got Josh. We got Sean. And then we have Michael. Michael is a longtime friend. Went to some art schools together. What do you want me to tell the people about you, Michael? You play D&D.
I don't play Warhammer.
You make terrain.
I make terrain. Yeah.
You have a Warhammer army.
I've never got to play it.
But you
It's
have one.
It's been
That's what's
collecting.
important.
I know I have one. It just sits there. It lurks. It's a lurking army.
You used to run a art show entirely themed off of gaming. We used to do that a long time ago. And yeah, so you're going to be joining us tonight. You've been working on some really awesome stuff. I've seen pictures of it. Let's start with you, Michael. What are you working on tonight?
So I'm running the campaign Tomb of Annihilation. That's a 5e just pre-generated campaign, and so I'm working on some terrain for that. That's mostly in like a jungle, and I've already done that. And then there's some parts with like volcanic areas and some dwarven mines. So I'm working on the volcanic ashen landscape.
Did you finish all your boats?
I didn't. Someone else in the group took it upon themselves to make canoes. So they're taking canoes down a river, and they sent a video of it, and I said, okay, cool, I don't have to do that. So
Nice.
I scrapped it all.
So you don't have to build that. Cool.
No. I was like, thank God.
Josh, what are you working on?
I'm working on Ant-Man and Wasp.
Both the biggies and the littlies?
Yep.
So you got 4 models to paint?
Yep.
So you'll be done in about 15 minutes.
Nah, I
Yep.
gotta actually paint with paint today a little bit.
Oh my goodness, you're not using 100% contrast paint?
Well, I'm using white over the black so that I can use more contrast paint.
Gotcha. Big Aaron, what are you building?
I am building Triarch Praetorians or Lichguard. I can't decide if I'm going to do the sword and board Lichguard or the Praetorians with lots of stabbies.
Well, the chat could decide for you.
Please, I would like to hear everyone's input on this.
By the way, who's monitoring the chat? Aaron, you got that tonight?
Sure. And by the way, Shivan has a birthday present for Josh.
Oh.
Josh,
Yeah.
happy
Bro.
birthday. Did you learn yet that in 1998, The Undertaker threw mankind off the Hell in the Cell onto the Spanish announcer's table?
I do know now. That's amazing.
Yes. That is your birthday gift from Shivan. Thank you very much, Shivan. Kind
All
as
right.
always.
So whoever's in the chat, you get to pick. What's the choices? Aaron, I forgot.
Lichguard with either sword and board or the Praetorians with all the stabby stuff.
Okay, so give them a couple minutes to figure that out. Otherwise, you have to decide yourself. And Shizzle the Nizzle Dizzle, what are you working on? Selling Tau? Selling all your
No,
Tau?
not tonight. I'm waiting for a bunch of lots to come in so that I can turn them around and make a bunch of money. But I'm building an Invader ATV.
Are
And if
you...
that magically gets done quick enough, I'll build a Tech Marine or some Outriders.
Are you going to be turning the ATVs into the segways where you just put them on?
100% absolutely not.
Aw.
The model just barely passed acceptable aesthetic standards to get into a Ravenwing army, So we're not gonna make it look any derpier than it already is.
I really like the Segway versions. I'll try to find a picture. We'll pull it up later. I am going to be working on the Ridge Runner for the Gene Stealers, and of course, why would you bother with anything other than the mining laser? I don't even understand why they have other options. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to build the Dune Buggy Ridge Runner with the mining laser. And which
Shivan
means
suggests that I do the stabby versions. I am leaning that direction, except I forgot Lichguard are core units, whereas Praetorians are not. So there's a lot more buffs for Lichguard.
I will also throw out there, man, that between reanimations and all the silly stuff you can do, throw an invulnerable save on top of that.
Yeah,
Which I would assume you're at a 4 now, since everybody else got nerfed down to a 4. Is still a beast to deal with. I've bet them a few times in editions past, and have never ever been happy about having to fight those things. So
yeah, and I also have to remember there's the new Scorpec destroyers that fill a good melee role, as well as the new flayed ones. Well, I mean the flayed ones have been around, but I mean, they changed up a little bit. So there's a lot of really good melee options right now, I feel.
I want everybody to know that I got confused on step 1. So that happened already.
That
Again?
sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nothing new, buddy.
Of course, step 1 starts with piece 6, and that confused me.
it is a little strange. You would think they would, number the pieces according to when they were used, somewhat.
So, Michael,
But you'd be wrong.
Yeah.
Tell us about this D&D campaign.
Team of Annihilation?
Yeah.
It's horrible. It's if anyone's like it's like a spin-off of Tomb of Horrors, which is like one of the most infamous campaigns, I guess. It's nice because it's based on the idea that like if you die, you die forever, and so they're going down there to investigate it. In Schult, which is like if you're familiar with Forgotten Realms, it's like I would say like African nation, and so they're just stuck in the jungle. Right now, they're like 3 days in the jungle, and they've encountered like giant white apes and some weird goblins that like these like battle stacks, and they have a cool like battle ability that I really liked, where they if you like kill one in the middle, then they have to like try to restack, and if they don't, they fall prone. Or if you like grapple one, then the other two drop to the ground and they start attacking you.
Oh, that's like World of Warcraft. They have those guys.
Yeah, I think it felt like a little bit like that. Yeah. The campaign's it's nice. It's like a sandbox adventure, so they kind of do whatever they want. I just like facilitate it. They're going down a river right now, and I bought these really nice maps. I can see if I can grab one and see if I can get it on the screen where you can see it. But like each hex is 10 miles, and they can only travel by foot 1 hex. And so just like give you like the scope of this map. Like I don't know if you can see the hexes on this. But
Yeah.
Like
Hold your fingers up to like one of the hexes so we can see.
let's see if I can get it real close. We can see how big that is on camera.
Yes.
Oh, gotcha.
And then,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
you see the
Gotcha
map.
now.
So that's huge. That's ginormous.
Yeah, and so like I'd marked on here like where, so I'm supposed to keep track of like where things are at, but I don't know. I think it should have some sort of like digital element. I looked on something online where like every time they explore an area, I can like click that hex open, but their map is like basically just the outline of the country, and then everything in the middle is white, and so they have to like draw it in.
Huh.
And then are there depending on where they go, are there preset storylines, or are you making it up as you?
I don't like, with work and just like life, it's like I prefer to use the preset. So I try to keep, I have like my notes, and then I tab everything. And so if they're in each area, like I can go to it quick and then go back, and then I tabbed out my like monster manual and my Dungeon Master guide. So everything that's pertaining to the adventure, like I can swing over and just go, okay, yeah, you're there. Okay, this is happening. Because the big thing for this is like disease and
Well, that sounds
wilderness survival.
That sounds like
Yeah,
that
that's
sounds exactly like what we need right now as an escape from reality.
Well, this is the irony of this. This takes place after like a one shot I did where like everyone had to wear masks. This is before COVID, and so everyone had to wear masks because there was a plague going on, and so they start off with the adventure wearing masks.
So this is your fault.
Yeah.
This is my fault. I did it. Yeah, a couple of months ago or a year ago. That was the last time you played.
And
this.
you also worked on Utopia, right?
I did that for a week.
For those of you who have not seen Utopia, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but if you've seen Utopia, so not only did he run a campaign where he had to wear masks, but then he worked on the TV show Utopia, which seemed to have been a portent of future happenings.
Yeah, the funny thing is, like, when COVID hit, I was working in New Orleans, and that's when Mardi Gras was happening, and that's when that started happening, so I started getting, like, okay, and then I came up here, and then I spread it to everyone in Chicago, of course.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
No, I didn't, but, like, I stayed in, because I knew COVID was happening. So I was living in like the main area where everything takes place in Louisiana, and not going out during most of Mardi Gras, which was pretty interesting.
Awesome. Well, that sounds like a super fun campaign.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that you have to give all of your people diseases.
Yeah, that's not even the main. That's the funny part. Is like I didn't realize how much that was a part of the campaign until we started playing, and then I had to tell them that's what it was about. So they're not even escaping the realities of the world by playing the game.
Sorry.
Worst DM ever.
I make them keep track of rations too. It doesn't sound fun, but
But you're not playing. You're just DMing.
I'm not playing. Sure.
and you're like I intentionally gave you 9 days of rations for your 12-day journey, just so you know.
Yeah, they got a lot of stuff. They got like 5 canoes. It's just only raining.
They have 5 canoes.
Yeah, that's good enough. Right?
3 people, 5 canoes.
Yeah.
Who drives canoes?
What?
They just strap them all together?
I don't know what they're just kind of going down the river right now.
Flotilla.
Yeah.
It's a sandbox, Josh. Chill out.
Yeah.
So speaking of sandbox, Josh and I played 2 games of Marvel Crisis Protocol on Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah, we did.
One of which is recorded and will be going up on the channel as a battle report. But I have to say, I am extremely, extremely satisfied with Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah,
at
really
least
good.
The Marvel Crisis Protocol version of it.
And that's Carefree Llama that does that mod for it.
Okay. Who's that?
That's the guy who writes that mod for Crisis Protocol.
Oh, we're buzz marketing the dude.
Well, yeah, we should throw props out to him.
Okay.
Yeah, that guy. We like him.
Say his name again. I already forgot it.
John.
Carefree Llama.
Carefree Llama. Yeah. So if you have Tabletop Simulator, you can just look up the mod for Marvel Crisis Protocol, and it works really well. It's quite cinematic. It seems to have the right rules in it. So I think it's going to work out. Now, I talked about this on Sunday's video, and I talk about it at the beginning of our game, but Josh and I are very, very aware that, Tabletop Simulator can be used to steal IP, right, to play games that you have not purchased, and Cool Guys Nation is not down with that. So any models that we play with in Tabletop Simulator are models that we own IRL, and we will be showing video of our models the same way that we would start a normal battle report. So like a normal battle report, we'd set out our armies, we'd take a look at it, we'd show the cards. We are going to be doing the same thing for Tabletop Simulator. So that way everybody knows, like, yes, we're using it because of COVID. Yes, we're using it because I can't go outside, which is fantastic. But we are not taking advantage of having access to models that we haven't purchased.
I think that's a fair compromise. You're showing you have it, and yeah, just due to the circumstances, you can't actually use them in real life.
Right. And I actually think that it's a pretty big opportunity for... This piece doesn't fit, it's making me angry. I think it's a pretty big opportunity. Like, it would be really cool if the bigger game companies started coming out with, like, UPC codes or QR codes that would let you download a digital model, you know what I mean, in a Tabletop Simulator, so that you could buy the physical model and have access to the digital version. Like, I think that would be a neat thing.
So Zidane has a good comment and question. He said that Tabletop Simulator is probably quite reasonable for such a low model count game, which I would probably agree with. One of the big turnoffs for me is like trying to play 40k, like a 2,000 point 40k army in Tabletop Simulator just seems like a horrible time in my opinion. But he also asks, are any of the rules automated into Tabletop Simulator, like movement or weapon ranges?
So go ahead, Josh. You can take it.
Movement works with templates, and they've got the templates in the game so that you can use them, snap them to the nearest base. You can move the templates around, and then you can actually bend the templates in the game as well. And then you can push a button to automatically move a model to where it's the farthest it can go. So yes, they do have some stuff like that, but you still have to know the rules. The difficulty in this game isn't the hard rules. It's more about making tactical choices that are going to get you where you want to go. So this is a great game for tabletop because it's not rule heavy. You're not rolling a ton of dice, stuff like that. There's a dice roller there that has like results, and you can see exactly what your opponent rolls and what you roll. It gives you a way to modify your dice. It's got everything you really need to play.
Yeah, so certain things are automated, like the cleanup phase. You can just hit a button and it removes all of the tokens. It has certain automations for like marking your characters that are active. You can just drop a token on top, and anytime you pick up, like let's say you pick up an objective, you can just drop that token onto your character card, and then it will appear above your model on the table, which is really nice. But in and there are some rules where we tried to put the poison condition onto the Hulk, who is immune to poison, and it would not allow us to do that.
The game knew it.
Like the game knew that he was immune to poison. So there are some automations to it, but there's still, 90% of the game is not automatable. In terms of like taking objectives and keeping score and stuff like that. You still gotta know your rules. But overall, really good quality. I think that we're gonna be able to edit it into something that looks really nice. I'm trying to figure out a way that we can change. So the simulator, for some reason, they're like, hey, let's just put a gaming table in a field, in like a parking lot. So the background is just grass and trees and like a house. And I'm
there's a couple other backgrounds that you can choose.
But
It's free clip art.
But I'm gonna try to get a 360-degree video, or I'm gonna make a 360-degree photograph of our studio, so that we can play in the studio.
That sounds really cool, man.
Like it.
So we're doing that. That's super fun. We have a couple topics to talk about.
While you're looking up at topics, just want to back up. Shivan had said core units are for wusses, highly overrated, and you don't have core means you're alpha enough to go along. I highly disagree. Sorry. Core is very valuable, especially if you're rocking the Knight or the Silent King. He gives a lot more buffs also to Lich Guard. So I mean that's what Necrons are all about, throwing out those buffs and debuffs.
Did you see that they basically said yes, the monolith does not have flight anymore?
The destroyers?
No, the monolith.
Oh,
So
the monolith. Yes,
had
correct.
flight in the past, and now they've taken it away, and it's just a giant brick that's going to have difficulty getting around.
Yeah, I think that they need to do something for the monolith. Obviously.
What's the movement on the monolith at the largest full wounds profile? You know,
I had the Necron Codex right here. Here, hold on. I will pull it up. Ovis Aries, hey, what's up? Ovis says happy belated birthday to Josh.
Thank you.
What's up, Red Green? Monolith is movement 8.
yeah.
Oh
So
my
it
God.
doesn't need flight. It doesn't need flight. It can't move over anything. It's
Pretty
not
much.
going anywhere. It's
Oh,
the
it's
brick.
Titanic. Doesn't Titanic mean that it ignores terrain stuff?
Yes.
It used to. I don't know what the rule means now.
I'm sure that it can move around. And 8 inches on a model that's big,
Yeah,
that
it's
is that
Lord of
big.
War.
Like it's gonna.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what rules it has.
Yeah. Like it'll be fine. So Josh posted a desert adventure Kickstarter. That seems pretty cool. Did you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so it's basically Tomb Kings that you can actually acquire. Since GW stopped making them and squatted them / legend them. Some other games still use them, like Ninth Age and stuff. But these are all the units that used to be available, and now you can get them again. Very cool.
I really like the sculpts. I don't know what kind of quality they come in.
Well, it's
But,
STL files, right?
Yeah, so right, it
Yeah.
should just matter on what kind of printer you have and all that fun
Right.
stuff. But I mean, they look the models that they have on their, is it a Kickstarter, Josh?
Yeah.
The models that they have on their Kickstarter are absolutely beautiful.
They also have some terrain, which is really nice too.
Well, there was a whole nother Kickstarter that I had posted that has all sorts of Egyptian terrain up right now too.
Oh, are these different things?
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm on the wrong Kickstarter. I'm on the Egyptian terrain Kickstarter.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you're gonna want to look at the one Josh posted.
Okay, so I once again.
I think my
up.
favorite thing about those weird these new Egyptian skeleton things, they did this really neat stuff with the wings. That anyone who's looked at them will know exactly what I'm talking about. But it looks really, it's just very different, right? We saw some very unique rings with the latest Mechanicus, whatever guys that came out, and it was nice because it was different, but they weren't like awesome, amazing, whatever. These dudes are just they're totally different than what I expected to see when I clicked on that link. So
Josh,
was
I
very,
don't
very
see
pleased.
your link. I'm sorry. The last thing I see is your kingpin picture.
It's above that.
It's above that. Okay, so you posted it 100 years ago. Armies of the Sands. I got
Red
it.
Green says happy birthday to you, Josh.
Thank you.
Man, Josh is getting all the birthdays. Aaron, no
Yeah,
one
right.
gave you a happy birthday.
Well,
Or me.
we didn't have a super special birthday stream. This
That's true.
the stream is called Super Special Birthday Stream for Josh. We didn't do that for anybody
I
else.
feel so disenfranchised.
Sorry.
Well, it's just our birthdays are a year away. It'll be fine. We'll just have to wait
My
till
birthday's next.
yeah. We'll do it for Aaron, and then we'll do it for Sean. It'll be fine. It just happens to be 11 months from now.
Sad face.
All right,
You
so
found
I got
the
I got these models up, and they are very pretty.
They're so cool.
But they are only STL files, so you can't actually be sent the models, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
But you
But
can buy the
they're so-
STL files, and there are companies out there that will just print your STL files for you.
Oh, I'm so glad that we are looking at that webpage and not looking at my camera, because I'm definitely not gluing my finger to things. But does it have, here's the question, does it have the big Snake Rider guys?
Yeah, it does.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
That's why it's super cool.
Snake
It has
Rider
literally
guys.
Oh, there they
all the
are!
things.
Sandstalkers. Wow. Yeah, that's really awesome. That's super dope. And then, of course, Big Aaron also did the terrain, the desert adventure terrain. So Michael, just change your campaign to desert adventure, and you'll be done.
After the plague, global warming hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're after they go to the desert, they're going to the Arctic cold, and I mean the jungle. They go to Arctic cold, and then they'll go to the desert.
Okay, so you got a whole you got a
I got a whole
progression
thing.
plan. I like it.
Hitting
I have
every
a-
biome.
Yeah, just
He just lets Minecraft randomly generate biomes, and then that's what he uses for his D&D campaign.
I'm not gonna complain about that. I'm gonna nod and keep rolling.
So what else do we got to talk about today, guys?
X-Men all come out this week for MCP on Friday.
That's exciting.
Yep. The Brotherhood and X-Men come out.
What X-Men are coming out?
Wolverine, Storm, Cyclops, Beast.
Are there models from a certain era or movie?
Yeah,
No,
DC.
they're the classic models.
Is there Mohawk Storm?
No, it's a classic Storm. She's actually really cool looking. She's got like lightning that's holding her up in the sky. I'll actually send this in the
Whatever.
Yeah.
Mohawk Storm is best Storm.
yeah, I agree.
Mohawk Storm is definitely the best storm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mohawk Storm didn't have any powers.
What? I thought she could fly around and still do stuff.
The original Mohawk Storm was when she goes punk because Forge makes her lose her powers.
Yeah. But then she gets powers back. I know that
Of
I've
course she
seen.
gets her powers back.
Yeah.
Like, whoop,
But still
who stays
Mohawk.
dead or loses their powers in Marvel.
Well, no, what I'm saying is she gets her powers back and is still Mohawky for a while.
So let's see. We got there's the Storm figure. She's definitely not Mohawk Storm, but you could make her Mohawk Storm. We got Magneto with a bunch of broken metal around. We got Toad. We got Mystique. We got Beast, and then of course
Sabretooth.
Wolverine and Sabretooth and Cyclops. That's a lot of models to come out all at once.
Yeah.
It's the release for this month.
I know, I love how you keep justifying it. It's like every time I complain that they're just going to keep releasing models faster and faster and faster and more and more and more, you're like, no, it's just this month.
Hey,
And then,
how many
and then-
models did CW put out this month?
Yeah, but you don't play every single army in game.
You don't play every single army in this game either.
But you're still getting all the models for it.
I am because I love it.
And that no one's trying to yuck your yum there.
You are.
Whatever.
Like, they're putting too many models out.
I think
Well,
they
I'm
are.
not. That was the other Aaron. Don't get us mixed up.
I definitely think they're putting too many models out too fast. I think so.
Well, you're wrong.
for Marvel Crisis.
For Marvel
Yeah.
Crisis Protocol.
I'm looking at them right now.
It's really fun. You should play with us.
Yeah, you could play with us after you buy the models, and we can play online for free.
Actually, we have 3 starter boxes worth of regular models. So,
Hey, one of
Hey,
those.
you
is
already
for me.
gave that away. You can't not give it to
well,
somebody.
technically, it's in my possession still. So,
Yes.
Can
But I
just
have
play-
the messages saying that you're giving it to me, so that'll hold up in a court.
so that just means that Aaron that just means that Michael has to call Aaron and ask if he can use his model before we launch Tabletop Simulator.
Fair enough.
Can I just play Modoc?
Yes.
Modoc cool?
No, because Josh is always playing Modoc.
Modoc is probably the best character in the game.
He's one of the. He's very
He-
very powerful.
He's one of the best Marvel villains ever.
Yeah.
Except he's the dumbest character I've ever seen in my entire life.
Everybody's
he's
saying how
great.
cool Modoc is because Aaron hates him.
Ugh. Modoc is so. Why do you
I
like
am
Modoc?
Modoc.
Why do you like
So-
Modoc?
So how do you spell this? Because now I got to look this up.
MODK.
It's an acronym for.
Mobile organism designed only for killing.
How could you
So
hate that, Aaron? That's
Modoc.
really good.
I
Modoc.
don't hate any of that. I hate the dumb. It's like, it looks like it belongs in Ninja Turtles. It looks like it
Yeah,
belongs
no, that's some
I
dumb
know.
shit right
with,
there.
true.
with,
That's
Shred-
why
I
it's
agree.
cool.
with Shredder and
No, don't bring the turtles down, bro. That thing was dumb.
whose time is up?
It's mine.
Your time is up, sir.
Yeah, they were like, Modoc, that's bad. Go.
Dude, it's the dumbest looking model. It's so dumb.
Wrong.
I am a giant head that sits on a farting chair.
I don't
Yeah, it
think
was-
chair
Chair.
farts.
Well,
I saw that.
in Marvel Crisis Protocol, his chair has giant jets of gas coming out from the under it, so it looks like it's a big fart chair.
He didn't fart. It's just a whoopee cushion.
It's just a whoopee cushion.
It's a diversion.
And let's be fair. I think that's a lot of the pot calling the kettle a farter right there.
Hey,
Ooh.
hey.
Now Modoc, he's like a Jack Kirby thing, right?
Yeah.
That looks like
Looks
a Jack
it,
Kirby,
yeah.
totally. Yeah.
Mhm.
That cosmic Marvel. See, how could you hate that, Aaron? That's like the best Marvel.
I love
So-
I love everything except Modoc. I just think Modoc is dumb. Particularly his model in Marvel Crisis Protocol.
How does it feel to be so wrong all the time?
I don't know. You tell me.
I'm not. I wouldn't know.
The question is, why can I never find the things that I need on the sprues? That's the question. Like,
I thought you
Alright,
just
guys.
needed mining lasers and only mining lasers.
well, I'm not gonna mount the rocket launcher or the grenade launcher because they're miners, so they're coming out of the mine. They're not ready for war. They're ready for mining
Maybe they needed to do some demolition.
with rocket propelled grenades.
Dynamite.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
a little bit away.
For show.
Yeah, okay.
Sounds like something a squat would do.
It seems like when you may make different choices when you get your gene stealers squared away. My gene stealers have rock cutters and mining lasers because that makes sense to me.
Outside of a kill team, I have not done any sort of gene stealers.
And even in your kill team, you're gonna be like, they need bolt guns.
Mining lasers. Yes. All bolt guns.
I have an interesting bit of information that I found out today that probably everybody who plays Warhammer knows except for me.
And me.
Because you don't play Warhammer, right? So,
Yes.
but I guess sometime in like the 90s, some heavy metal band named Bolt Thrower got officially sponsored by Games Workshop, and we're about to be or whatever of the sort, and they didn't want to pay Games Workshop for the money for the artwork for their album. So one of the Games Workshop artists just did it. It looks like a Chaos Barbarian cover to a Codex. Super sweet. The name of the band is Bolt Thrower. I have no idea what their music sounds like, but every song is named after something that you're like, oh yeah, that's totally Warhammer stuff.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
100%. My mind was blown. I'd never heard of this before.
So back in the early 90s,
It was
when
the 90s.
Oh, yeah.
music was like, everything was music and everyone was starting their own like music distribution or record label or whatever. And GW actually created their own record label. I don't remember what it was called, but that was the only band that they signed and the only album put out underneath the record label.
Really?
Bolt Thrower is like metal, kind of thrashy. They've been around for a long time. They actually put out some pretty good metal if you are into that sort of thing. But yeah, I was very surprised to learn that. But I don't know if they still technically have it. I'm guessing they probably still have the company, but just not doing anything with it.
Bolt Thrower, War Master, full album.
Yeah.
There's also they have Realm of Chaos. Slaves to Darkness.
That's
Yep.
all GW book.
Oh wait.
All right, everybody, be quiet just for 1 second. Let's just get a
Turn
listen.
down your speakers.
It's very like, we are entering the jungle. You feel as though you're getting sick. Make a constitution roll. All right, that's probably all we can play before we get DM'd.
I'm not trying to kill them. I'm just telling them they need to be cautious because they just run around like they're,
Like they're immortal, right?
We
Yeah.
don't know anything about that. Seriously.
It's like they just always want to be in their werewolf form,
Bro, those
pretending
werewolves.
that they're a vampire.
Oh,
yes.
oh.
Is that a Vampire Masquerade thing?
No.
We were
That's
playing.
I literally
Tell
made
the
this
story,
character
Josh.
and passed it through him. And you're like, yeah, that's a great idea. He thinks he's a vampire. Great.
I didn't say
And
that
then
there
you're
weren't
like,
going to be consequences, and I didn't
You're
say
gonna
that.
die instantly.
Oh my god! I'm not even going to get into it.
It's not really
I'm not going to do it.
Aaron's fault. So
No,
never mind.
I'm not
We
gonna
have a
do it.
little bit of chat to catch up on.
We do.
Uh,
Let's catch up on that.
Yeah, is it in your right? Slaves to Darkness, I think, was the album name, right? That was
Yes,
correct?
correct.
Okay. We have, Paul Noxie says, happy birthday, Josh.
Thank you.
What's going on, Paul? Thanks for joining. And then we have someone that just has an emoji frowny face saying hello. They haven't accessed YouTube in a year because they were in a coma.
Welcome.
Thank you for joining the channel and the stream as soon as you got out of the coma.
That's the
Hopefully
perfect.
this doesn't put you back to sleep.
Yeah.
they were in the coma because of our
Right.
stream.
And then
That's very
Red
hard
Green going all the way back to the Tomb Kings-ish STL files and stuff. He was saying, yeah, it'd be nice to do like a Warhammer Fantasy Battle Tomb King, which right on, dude, because I'm in the middle of a second edition Warhammer Fantasy Battle campaign. And I think it's a really fun system.
Did you know that I have a full army for Tomb Kings?
Yes.
I did. I
I was
saw
aware
it
of
play.
this.
Those
Yeah.
chariots, man.
I think I lost my strut. And
No.
and I literally mean it's a strut, and I lost it. But I found
Drop
it.
another piece on the floor and watch where
But
it
I
bounces.
don't know if I dropped it. Otherwise, I would send out a search party. That is the best way. If you ever lose something on the floor, the best way to find it is to drop something of a similar size and then follow that, and it's called a search party, and it will lead you to your other piece.
That just sounds
Or
like a
you
good way
just
to
lose two
Tomb
things.
It's totally wrong. That's totally
Sci-
wrong.
Scientifically
Sounds like-
proven.
This is an Aaronism. Lose
It's
two
not.
things in order to find one thing.
It's not.
Or just lose it and then you just order it right away online because you lost it, right?
or you just wait till you vacuum until you hear that clanking noise and then immediately shut the vacuum off so you can
Oh, that's a
to
good one.
try to fish it out of the.
Actually, I hear if you put pantyhose over the end
Yeah.
of a vacuum thing, you
Yeah.
can do it.
It works.
Yes.
I just use a little like dustbuster, dirt devil-y sort of thing.
Yeah, but what
and I
about-
can just see in.
But what about all of the other crap that you do actually need to get off of your floor?
Well, if
You
you're
put that
only
in the
working-
garbage.
Oh, I found the strut. I found it. It was on the table. See, you didn't need a search
There you
party.
go.
Didn't need it
Yeah.
because I didn't lose it. Gosh,
you
you guys are so harsh. You're so harsh on me.
Win for the team.
Just because I'm really bad at building GW models, you're so harsh on me. Speaking of building GW models really bad, I thought that it would be kind of fun to see if I could find any 1-star reviews of Games Workshop models on Amazon. So I went hunting for some reviews, and I found some pretty funny stuff. So first of all, I found if you go to look for the Primaris Hellblasters, the first review you get is 1 star. It says, this picture shown here is inaccurate. It is not a representation of what you receive. Instead of a 10-man unit box, you will only receive a 5-man unit, which is immediately followed by a 5-star that says, this box comes with 10 miniatures, not 5. And the statement is, do not listen to the other reviewers. This box comes to 10 miniatures. If you think you got 5, then you probably don't know what you're doing. The box says 10, and you can get your money back if it comes to that. So I thought that one was pretty good. There's also a 1-star review for the Primaris Repulsor, which just states doesn't fit together.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna debate that one, dude. I recently built a repulsor,
Yeah.
and that was one of the finest fitting kits that I have ever built. I have built dozens and dozens of GW standard template construction vehicles, and none of them have gone together as smoothly as that one.
Dude,
You have to hold one part, but
yeah. I mean, the as far as the tanks go, like the old school tanks were really hard to put together. Like,
yeah, I got it.
Like rubber bands and clamps and
Mhm.
and then gap filling. The repulsors actually go together pretty good. I just thought that it was one of the funnier 1-star reviews that I could find.
You should search on Amazon the Lord Discordant and see what they say about that.
I will do that next, but there's
Okay.
one review for the new buggies. Only one. It's a 5-star review, but I thought it was pretty good. It says, was pretty surprising to learn it's easy to build, but that works for me. The mounted turret is easier to swap that way, so long as you don't glue it down. And then at the end of it, he goes, but the guardrails don't stay on very well. You might need some glue. So, yeah. So they're recommending that you purchase glue.
Wow.
Along with your 40K models.
What did he put the rest of it together
It's a
with?
snap fit. The ATVs are snap fit.
Oh yeah, okay.
Where do you get glue? Just kidding.
He did not link to glue.
That's
Unfortunately. That was a wasted opportunity. He could have gotten some commission there. So that's what I found. I was hoping to maybe find some more 1-star reviews, but there was really only a couple. I looked at maybe, I don't know, a couple hundred models, and those were the best reviews that I found.
Did you look at the one where I sent where they had the reviews for actually working at the GW store?
Yeah, I
There
saw
were
that.
some 1-star reviews that were really
Like-
hilarious.
No,
Like a glass door kind of thing?
I did
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
look at the working at the store.
Most of the
reviews.
1-star ones were all from people actually working in Warhammer stores, which I can
Right.
imagine really sucks. There were not really many 1-star reviews for working at corporate.
No.
Yeah. I was looking at because I looked at the Yelp stuff, because I wanted to see if I could find user reviews of people going to the Warhammer store, not just employees complaining about the Warhammer store.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But I didn't find anything super funny in that particular realm.
Guys, I've painted 2 models. Look at this.
How long did it take him?
Look at the tiny.
40 minutes.
Look how tiny they are.
Oh, you painted the little baby ones?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So that's like painting one.
That's the fun thing is that Ant-Man and the Wasp each come with the big version and the small version, and they come with a split card for depending on which mode they're in.
Yep.
That's cool.
Super cool.
Mhm.
All right, base of the buggy's done.
How many Modocs can I play when I play
You can play,
Crisis?
you can play
Only one.
one Modoc at a time.
Well, wasn't his thing he can clone himself, if I remember correctly?
They don't have that version.
Oh,
Yet.
Yep.
And when they do, Josh will play it.
that's the only reason I'd play the game, if I could just play all Modocs.
I mean, you can just play one model, and you'll.
And every time he dies, he comes back.
You could be really hardcore and play Modoc, Thanos, and Magneto, and just be like, "What are you gonna do now?"
That would
Play
be
a
really
game
that would be
next to
really
that.
annoying. Except you wouldn't be able to hold objectives, and I'd probably beat you.
I do have beginner's luck.
Just don't play against Josh because he lies about the rules when they don't fit his strategy.
His agenda.
Just kidding.
Haterade.
We're getting back into the game. We made a couple rule errors, but we've only
Did you
played
find
2
another
games.
one?
Yes.
What was the other one?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but I did notate it in the video.
Okay.
I think it was with a reroll. It was someone's reroll. I did wrong. It was a rule mistake that I got wrong.
Okay.
So, all right, we've seen the funny reviews. Sean, we're gonna talk about some video game related stuff.
Oh yeah.
Craziness happening in Eve.
Yeah. So, long story short, if anybody out there plays or knows about Eve, there are a bunch of things that have recently come to happen. Right. So, the first thing you need to know about Eve is that it is a giant sandbox MMO RPG in space. So everybody's flying around spaceships, and it's really fantastic and fun. And all of the major occurrences in the game are player driven, right? So guilds, companies is what they're called in Eve, decide to go to war and lay waste to entire sectors that have nothing to do with the fluff governments and shipping lanes and all that fun stuff. Anyway, so the developers have been doing this for 17 years, and in the last year they introduced an NPC race that basically fought the good NPCs, if there are any good people in it, throughout all these systems. And they ended up taking over 27 solar systems. The Triglavians did. So they're called the Triglavians. And now you have 27 systems that are no longer safe. So if you live there, it's like being able to go to a town, in Warhammer or in World of Warcraft, and now all of a sudden you go to that town and there might be a ninja ready to stab you. So very interesting dynamic. There's a massive war going on right now between basically one half of the universe and the other half of the universe. Maybe the other third of the universe. The forward base of this massive coalition who's opposing Goon Swarm, again, if you've ever played the game, you've heard of Goon Swarm, has anchored their forward base inside of enemy territory, and it's looking like they're in a pretty strong position. But the Goon Swarm has been smacked down more than once throughout their history and have always come back very much like dwarves. They also have very similar play style, so it is what it is. They revamped the major trade hub. It's all fancy and looks super cool.
Right. So the biggest change is that the way that the universe works is there are literally thousands of star systems, and there are paths to get between all the major star systems, and they have something called high sec and low sec. And in high sec you're safe, which means that you can just kind of AFK and let your ships fly around. But because of this change in the game, they made some of the major trade routes become unsafe. They are no longer protected. And so it's had a major disruption to the economy. And so now they're overhauling the main city, the main citadel, which is called Jeddah. I assume to deal with this change in the ability to fly around.
I'm not entirely sure. The changes on the outside look cosmetic, but they also came bundled with some resource allocation changes. So what they've done is, while they have impacted your ability to move in and out and through this high security safe space, they have also made it so some of the resources simply don't exist there. They may have been really rare before, but they simply don't exist now. And in the opposite direction, the converse of that is out in no man's land, the really easy to get stuff in the safe places simply doesn't exist, right? So there has to be some sort of trade between all these different parts, which they have created impediments to. So now the question is, right, we did this thing, let's see what the players do. So it's going to be really interesting to see how it affects prices and people's individual play day to day, but also what kind of warfare and stuff springs up due to resource scarcity. right? Which has never really been an issue before. It was either space or vengeance, right? Those were the things you killed each other over in the game. But now, you might actually just need some money. So
yeah, there might be more. There
really
might be more reasons to go out and kill people other than to just be a pirate.
Mm-hmm.
Going to the chat, a friend plays Eve, so I know of it. Polly, yeah. MMOs. What MMOs do we got out there? I assume we got a lot of World of Warcraft players. I'm pretty sure Polly plays the World of Warcraft. Josh, are you still playing World of Warcraft?
Not recently. I don't plan to until Shadowlands officially comes out, if I do play it.
Still playing Path to Exile?
Yeah.
But Josh, clarify, that's not an MMO. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's
No, it's an
it's a smaller scale, right?
AMORPG, but yes.
And Aaron, you're playing Cyberpunk 2077.
Yes, I have my copy, and the game is fantastic. You guys will be really surprised what happens when you load up the game.
I'm so glad that you're able to get your copy.
Nothing happens because the game's probably not going to come out this year.
Michael,
Yes.
you playing any video games?
I've been playing a lot of Magic Online, but I kind of stopped a little while ago. Just got.
Because
Are you playing Arena or Magic Online?
I mean, I'm sorry, Arena. I'm so sorry. Yeah, Arena.
Very different. You should be my buddy on Arena, though.
Yeah, well, I do. I mean, I don't know. I think I like it a little bit better right now than it was a couple months ago. But
what do you think about all of the bans and the cards that come out that just immediately get fluffed?
I think they're building those. I think they're building their sets for Commander. I really do. I don't think
100%.
I don't think it has to do with Standard anymore. I mean, Standard is they have what they have for Arena. Hearthstone, I mean, they change their cards all the time, and their solution is that they just digitally change them. And Arena, Magic's solution now is just to ban the cards. So I think they saw that Hearthstone probably had success with just digitally changing their cards, that they're like, all right, we'll just...
But it's making me not want to play Commander either, because Commander is also getting too crazy super powered, where everybody I'm playing in Commander is just running like... It's like you can't let a single card stand on the table because it's part of some stupid combo.
Yeah. I haven't played Magic probably this whole year, Paper Magic, just because of COVID. I've been mostly focusing... You know how like my hobbies are. I usually focus on one thing really hard for a while. So like, I just been focusing on D&D and just like trying to get that to where it's like, you know, where I want it to be. Like video games, I have a Switch, and I think during COVID I finally beat, like when I was first off for work, I just beat Breath of the Wild. I had like no time to ever play it. But I'm looking forward to the new one. That's like the kind of game I just want to play. It's like a zone out and just like battle, like, I don't know, goblins and climb shit and do whatever I want to do.
You know, I keep going back to Star Wars Battlefront 2. Like, I keep just being like, yeah, if I just want to like fly some spaceships around or shoot some people or whatnot, I'm just like, I just keep going back to it.
Hey, how's your Oculus?
It's awesome. I love it. The Oculus is amazing.
You should tell us about that.
The graphics on the Oculus are incredible. The screen is super crisp. It has this like it remembers where you set up your boundary boxes in your house, and as soon as you leave your boundary box, it turns on external cameras so that you can walk around while you still have it on. It has extremely high accuracy for the handles, which is just crazy. Also, the handles are run off of AA batteries, and I haven't had to change those batteries at all.
Nice.
The only negatives that I would say for it is that the actual playtime on the headset itself, if you're playing like Beat Saber or like something, any game that's pretty much consistently played, is about an hour and a half from full charge. And one time it even turned off in 45 minutes from a full charge.
How long does it take to charge?
It doesn't take very long, but it doesn't matter because, like, if you're playing a video game and you want to play it for longer than 45 minutes, having to turn it off to recharge sucks.
Still a bummer, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I would typically, on the PlayStation, I would typically do, like, if I was doing Beat Saber exercise, I would do an hour to an hour and 15, right? Because I wanted 45 minutes of my heart rate above 150, and so that would be an hour long Beat Saber session. And I've really only been able to do like 45-minute Beat Saber sessions on the Oculus, but it looks 10 times better than the PSVR, and the
Aaron,
accuracy is better.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you can get backup batteries or second batteries for the headset, right?
I
I
guess
think you can on their website, and then additionally
but
there is the cable.
Where do you plug it in?
I don't know yet. And then there is the cable to be able to connect it to a PC to be able to update and download games to it and stuff like that. I'm wondering, can you have that connected and play it at the same time? So that it will charge?
I haven't tried because I don't have a 30-foot long USB-C cable.
Well, you should get one. They're not expensive.
What's wrong with you?
I have a 30-foot. You
But
want
like
one?
part of the great thing about it is like not having the cable. You know what I mean? Is
Well,
like,
yeah, absolutely. But if you do want to do a long gaming session, I'm just thinking there's probably workarounds. There's compromise.
But my overall impression was that I personally wasn't going to buy it. I got it as a gift, and I'm really, really happy that I did because I like it a lot.
Well, that's awesome.
And on that same note, I told you guys this, but last week at the company I work for, there was all company meeting, and at the end they did some raffles, and I won the Oculus Rift 2. So I'm getting one for free as well.
Which
I'm
is awesome.
super stoked. Yeah.
Zydan says that if I get the Comfort headset, that also comes with a backup, an additional battery. So I don't have the Comfort headset. I have the basic strap. So I guess I need to order that.
What's your opinion of that basic strap? Because all the reviews I see say you need that extra strap.
I have had absolutely zero problems with that strap. It is totally comfortable. It's totally fine. Again, I'm comparing it to the PSVR. I'm not comparing it to the original Oculus. I'm not comparing it to any other third-party brands that you may have purchased that hook up to your computer. I am comparing it to PSVR. That's my benchmark. I find that the strap is comfortable. I find it very easy to change its position. And even when I let Adam, who's 6, play for a couple minutes here and there, it was much easier to get it fitting onto his head than the PSVR was.
Zyden is wondering, have you been able to try it with Tabletop Simulator?
I have not tried it with Tabletop Simulator. It does feel like the PSVR game market is much larger than the Oculus game market.
Yeah, but they're partnering. I mean, they're just starting to really ramp that up, and they're partnering with some big companies. It seems like.
So there's not a whole lot of titles that I'm really excited for, which is too bad.
Let's be real. You just play Beat Saber all the time.
Well, I didn't realize this, but the X-Wing VR simulator is PlayStation only.
That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah,
because I did want to try that out.
I don't just only play Beat Saber. I also play a shooting game. That's really fun. It's called like Pirate something. I can't remember it off the top of my head. Pirate Simulator or something. And I play a bow and arrow game. And I also really like the immersive stories. There's a whole bunch of people who just put out literally like the equivalent of 15 to 20 minute movies or TV shows where you're not actually playing a game. You're just doing an experience.
That's cool.
And I really
Yeah, I'm down with
I
that.
really like those experiences. And there's one where you like go underwater, so you sit down on a chair, and it like legitimately got me like kind of moving around and kind of worried about what was happening next.
Huh.
The other amazing thing about the Oculus, and then I'll stop talking about it, is that they have this surround sound speaker system built into it
Okay.
that is so incredible that I can be playing Oculus in front of the television with my son watching a TV show, and I cannot hear the TV show, and I still have 360-degree sound around me. Like,
That's
whatever
pretty cool.
they've done for the speaker on it is just incredible.
So Zaidan is dropping a lot of knowledge bombs here about VR in the chat. One thing Zaidan has asked or has said for extended Oculus playtime, one, yes, it can be connected to the cable and be played at the same time. Regular USB-C for power when you charge it. But he also said, print a USB power bank holder for the back of the strap. It's a comfort mod in addition to lengthening the playtime. And he's saying, as a VR veteran who's had another Oculus, Vive, Pimax, all sorts of stuff, that is the best overall comfort mod and counterweight that he's had for any headset.
Huh. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Aaron, you need to get on that.
I will.
And then
I will
print
get on
me
it.
one and mail me one as well, please.
Done.
All right. And then he said that you can also play PC VR games on the Quest, so everything on Steam is available.
Really? How
Nice.
how do you get access to that? I don't understand.
That's what I think that cable is for. And I think
Oh,
maybe
I
to
see what you're
play
saying.
it, you do have to be connected to the cable. Zaidan, I'm going to need you to fact check us here on that one.
Yeah. So how do you get access to the Steam stuff? Do you have to be plugged into the computer with the headset? Because like there's a whole bunch of stuff that's on the Steam that I really want to do. One of the fun experiences is Adam Savage from Mythbusters. He did a virtual reality tour of his workshop, his cave that he runs his YouTube channel on,
Nice.
which is really fun. And then Slow Mo Guys also have a virtual reality thing that you can do, which is really fun. But yeah, I'm super enjoying it, and I like how small it is. I like how light it is. It's great.
Is it that much better than the PlayStation one?
It is 100 times better than the PlayStation.
Great.
Zaidan says you don't need the cable. It all goes over Wi-Fi as well.
I put it on my Elfster wish list, and my wife laughed at me.
I laughed at you being laughed at by your wife.
Thank you. I also put a $7,000 skee ball machine on it. So
Nice.
Why would you want
She didn't laugh about that one.
a skee ball? Yeah, what would happen if you actually wound up with the skee ball machine?
It's an investment.
dude, I would be the best skee ball player ever.
It's for Chucky. He goes to Chuck E. Cheese and he gambles against the kids.
He's ready to
Hey,
go.
Hey
Yeah.
kid.
How
You
many
could win-
tickets you got? How many tickets you got, little boy?
That's funny to think arcades and ball pits are ever coming back.
Oh,
yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese,
Oh.
they're open, bro.
yeah.
They are.
for
and
pizza
it
for,
is
for pizza
insanity.
pickup. Wait, can you
Nope.
go inside?
You
Yup.
could up until this last Friday.
Yeah, they're open down here, man. It's fucking bananas.
It's like the one place where you're like, don't touch anything ever. Like
Yeah,
I felt that
pre-COVID.
before. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that ends COVID talk because that's not what this place is.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
We have about a half hour left. Where's everyone in their hobby progression?
Can you guys see?
I'm almost done with my build. I am picking the final weapons to put on, and then I will be done. But we do have a bunch of other topics to talk about. I found this really, really cool pop-up terrain. So it's like a pop-up book, but it's pop-up terrain. And nobody
Yeah,
can
that's
see
been
it.
kind of slowly, quietly making the rounds. I think it's super dope. I think it makes, if you want to play a little skirmish game on the go, boom, you just get this little flat folder, pop it open, and all of a sudden you're playing Kill Team or War Cry. Or you can get a whole bunch of them and make a huge table. Super
This
fast.
is a 60 by 44 Cathedral Zone board setup. I think this is genius.
So scroll down to where they're showing how it holds loads. What I think is funny in all those pictures, there's like one model on it, and you can see it bowing out. You can see how bad it is.
So you have to get the pop-up models that are going to come out soon.
Yeah, exactly.
Pop-up models.
The cardboard cutout Space Marines that only cost $21 per model instead of $24.
Wait.
Yeah.
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 Uh-huh.
Me too.
I'm
I see.
I'm
Okay, yeah. I
I'm
mean,
with
it
Josh.
looks like it's bowing a little bit. It doesn't look like it's bowing that bad.
Yeah.
It's
You're
bowling.
never gonna convince me that it's safe for my $100 miniature
Yeah.
to stand on a piece of cardboard. A, B. I come from a lot of APOC and giant narrative stuff. Terrain is as important as your models. So if you want to play Warhammer 40K with cardboard cutouts of Space Marines, this is for you.
Dude,
It also sounds
that's harsh, man. This
I
stuff
know,
is
right?
way this stuff
Yeah,
looks
I
way
think this
nicer
is-
than cardboard cutouts. This isn't two-dimensional
Agreed.
objects. This is
And
like
there's a lot of people that this is the right fit for. Like if you live in a small apartment, you don't have anywhere to put tubs of terrain, right? You got
That is
some
fair.
space on a bookshelf that you could put like,
dude, whatever. This
Or
cathedral
books.
looks fucking fantastic.
and yeah,
Look,
a lot of
if
the
you
stuff
don't have
looks
the
super
space
cool.
to hold your models and your terrain, you shouldn't be playing the game.
Oh,
That is
oh,
a dumb
whoa.
bullshit statement.
Wow. Shade throw.
I wasn't even prepared to go that far. Now I feel dirty.
That's so funny.
If
I don't
you
know
don't
where that
Wow.
If you don't have space to play, you don't deserve to be one of us.
We are not all like Josh.
Wow.
No, go to your game
I
store and
see
play.
I see the benefit of it for gamers that see the benefit of it, right? It is
Boo.
not something
Boo
that I
to
would
that
ever purchase.
sentence.
Or-
I see the benefit for people who see the benefit.
No, seriously, if you think it solves your hobby solutions, cool. I would not be like, hey, I'm not going to play on your board. I'd be like, wow, this is a really flat board.
I think,
No.
dude, look at the pyramid.
It-
Go look at the pyramid
it
and
doesn't
tell
look
me.
cool.
It looks amazing.
Disagree.
Wow.
I think
For
I think
a
some of this
cardboard
looks,
pop-up, it's great.
Wow. Michael,
I
you
This
think
is-
you're trying to compare this to like GW or like actual real physical 3D terrain, and it's not the same. It's not the same purpose.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying, is that my purpose in playing the game and the environment that I put myself in to play the game is not in any way, shape, or form accepting of this thing, right? That doesn't mean that it's not good for someone who's going to play with their buddy during a lunch break at work, right?
Yeah.
Or someone who doesn't have the storage space to put multiple tubs of terrain, or set out a full on board and leave it up all the time. Like that's not what I'm about. I'm not trying to rag on that at all. So if I was unclear about this doesn't work for me and is not something I would ever purchase, then that was my mistake in communication.
No. You made that
It is.
very clear. It just makes me sad. I'm just sad.
Oh,
to hear
well,
you say that.
yeah, but I'm just, Aaron, you have amazing, wonderful terrain. If you were like, hey, Sean, do you want to build a board out of these 5,000 trees that I and my buddy made and this dead body that I encased in honey and then covered in...
What?
Yeah,
What?
Aaron's got crazy terrain. I would be like, I want those things, not the cardboard cutouts, right? So given the option, which I always have
I
personally.
agree with you 100%, but I'm saying even as somebody who has a dedicated space and has tons of terrain, from people who are master terrain builders all the way to stuff that I've built myself, this still seems like something awesome to have where you can just pop open like a couple sheets of cardboard, which, by the way, think about it like this. Think about what if the GW basic box set came with pop-up terrain like this instead of just the stupid cardboard base. Like, how much cooler would it be to get to open the Indominus box set, right? And instead of just having unfolding a board game base, you unfold the Necron Acropolis.
See, and I would see the value in that as well, right? Because now you're talking about a product to get new people in. Hey, you buy a box, I buy a box. Now between the both of us, we have enough stuff for an entire full-size table. However you want to work that, I think that's a good use of this product, a good application for this item. Right?
Well, and I also think that
standalone, let me pay you $100. It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah. So Sean, you brought up something good about like, oh, you can just like pop it up at work. And I think what's also kind of cool about it is like it's not just the terrain, you have the whole kind of base. It kind of board gamifies some of your skirmish style stuff where even less that you have to worry about, that you can just pop it open somewhere. Like think about like trying to simplify Warcry for someone that's interested in the hobby but kind of overwhelmed by it. It's like, okay, cool. Buy this one box and then buy this one board thing if you are really wanting to have your own terrain and go to town. And now it's kind of a little bit more like a board game and more digestible to get some people.
I don't think that they have enough terrain to do something like that. It's very sparse. If you were to show me that 6 by 4 whatever terrain board with the like 3 buildings that it has on it, I mean, you would never want to play on that board.
Sounds like some GW or some 40K tables I've seen.
Well,
bowling balls.
Look at the actual full build of those tables. There's like 4 buildings.
I do agree with Josh to a certain extent that terrain coverage and the aesthetic of your board are both very important.
100%. Don't disagree.
Yeah, and I think that there is a benefit to, especially 9th edition, right? Because now we have line of sight blocking for looking through terrain and stuff like that. So there are some things that are either decisions that were made with this in mind or that are perfectly suited for this type of thing, right? We're doing a much better job managing the unit coherency. We're doing a much better job of managing vertical distances and line of sight blocking and what you can shoot and what you can't shoot. So like, I don't want to, poo-poo on any of that stuff. But at the same time, it's my hobby fun time. I want it to be what I want it to be. I'm going to invest,
let's just
20 hours in a game.
Let's hold on. Let's just really let's just for a second. Let's figure out the price.
Buildings that look amazing.
Yeah. I want giant crazy buildings that look amazing too. But I just want to like figure out how much the 6x4 table costs, because I think that's a big part of it.
So Paul can let us know how it looks when he gets it.
All right.
Well, yeah, and I think one of the big things that Josh and I both have major concerns about is the stability, right? Because dude, my daughter came out into the garage, broke in. She was like, "Oh, look at all these cool things." I was like, "Here is a scratch-built giant Tyranid monster that I don't care about," and she threw that thing on the floor 30 seconds after she grabbed it. Cool. I do not want that happening during my game. I do not want my thing that I spent a lot of money and a lot of time and really care about to have that danger of dying.
So you don't want to be trying wobbly model syndrome on one of those things. But Zidane did point out that you could just make some little clips, 3D print some little clips that will help stabilize that a lot if you're really worried about it. But yeah, I wouldn't see myself playing like a 40K game and covering a whole table with this stuff. Could totally see myself grabbing one for Warcry or Kill Team. If they make them for the right side for what's the new
Patrol.
Like whatever the new Patrol is. Was it Conquest or something like that?
My point is that they wouldn't even be good for those games. There's not enough terrain.
Well, then throw a couple pieces of scatter. I just think it's a great solution if
It's
you
a
don't
good
have a
idea,
lot of
it's not
space
ready
or you
yet.
don't have a lot of money to invest in terrain. Because terrain, unless you're building it yourself and you kind of know and also have some of the tools and everything, it can also be a little expensive getting into some scratch built stuff.
As expensive as buying miniatures. It is a whole other, it's a whole other dimension of its own.
Michael, as someone that's scratch building some terrain right now, do you have any thoughts?
The only reason I would like it if I was doing something with like fog of war, and then they couldn't see the terrain until
That's a
they
good
got
one.
like if they couldn't get
Ooh.
close. So if you got closer and closer, then that whole building would pop up. So like you don't know, there's going to be something there as a player, but you're not going to know what it is. So
That's a
like
super
watching
cool
that
idea.
watching that little like GIF that's up on the top of the screen. You can kind of see that first video where they just show it like those two buildings pop up really quick. So then now there's terrain that you can interact with. I think a lot of times like with D&D or even like 40K is like the terrain that's down the line, and so you can know how you're going to deal with it. This reminds me of more like playing PlayStation 1, where you're like
It
like
wasn't
running
rendering just yet.
yeah, or Turok. Where it's like everything's foggy.
Ooh, Toro.
Yep.
I think that's the cool aspect of it. Regarding its stability, for the type of minis I work with, I mean, it's like that's fine. Maybe I might get something in that nature. I do have some like mats like this for D&D, and I don't play with them just because.
Like pop-up mats.
No, they're just flat mats. They're like They're like books. I can show you one, but
Yeah, it's like
I don't like.
I've just never seen pop-up terrain before. I just thought it was really smart.
Well, but Michael brings up a really valid point, man. I could see myself with this for Dungeons and Dragons all day long, right?
So I have these, but I never play with them, like because it's like I gotta carry this like big book, and there's two books with it.
Right.
I like them. They're good for on the go. Like if I was DMing in like a small place and it was with people I've never played with, they're good to bring with you, rather than bring like a bunch of minis and a map. But I don't know. I think there's accessibility to it. I think for what you're saying, like with 40K, it might be a harder sell, because that's such a hobby that's like focused on putting a lot of effort into the detail of things that you guys make. Me, it's like, this is like lava. Right now I'm doing like the general, like this is general lava terrain. If I didn't have time to paint this and add all like the lava, I would still play with it. Be like, just don't go into black parts.
Black lava.
Black lava. But that's just a different philosophy. I think they're cool. I mean, maybe I'd get a couple of them. It'd be a fun little like cool moment,
I mean, I really like that idea of, because I wasn't even thinking of it from that perspective, but that sort of like hidden unveiling, like I did the Fallout narrative campaign with Sean at Mini War
awesome.
Gaming, right, which was really fun, and that would have been an amazing part of that narrative campaign if you're like, like you have the terrain set up and you see something there, and then you walk up and like a building unfolds, like that's pretty cool.
I agree. I agree.
Like that's a really smart way to think about it.
Yeah, so maybe you could add it in, or if it could be like, I don't know if there's like illusionary walls or things like that. I don't know the system as well, but I think that would be a cool.
There definitely is a narrative play system, and you absolutely could work it into, as you walk across the board, you get to see more and more of what's there. You absolutely could do that in the narrative 40K stuff.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that, Sean?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, the narrative is just whatever you want it to be. I ran into some dude on one of my Facebook forums, and he was like, "Man, what should I get next? Because my buddy keeps kicking my ass, and I've got these 1,000 points." And I was like, "Okay, well, what's he use?" And he's like, "Well, he's got like 2,500 points of this stuff." And I'm like, "Whoa, hold on, what?" So apparently his buddy had been joshing him by bringing 2.5 times the army to his one army and just murking this guy. And he didn't know any better because, hey, my collection versus your collection, open play.
Why
right?
is it joshing him? I never do that.
anytime
Bush
someone
crap.
anytime someone wins, we assume that they joshed them.
Anytime someone abuses something to win,
That
it's
just sounds
actually
like
on
cheating,
Wiki.
though.
Yeah,
in my
that's just straight
opinion.
up cheating. Sorry.
Yeah, no, but it was
Sorry,
it was-
dude. Did I forget to tell you that there's points associated with this game?
Unless
Right.
was it Age of Sigmar when it first came out, because that's exactly how it was.
Yeah, that's
It's
Just
true.
bring the models
exactly
that
how
you
it was.
want.
Yeah. No, it was not like that, but I mean, open play very specifically says, hey, just put models on the table, right? And narrative play says, hey, just, do whatever you guys agree upon. So you, as someone who's kind of like coordinating a game with a new person, right, try to get them in the hobby, because what do we want? We want more people playing and having fun, not people feeling like, oh man, this is utterly horrible because there's no way I can win because the game is made that way. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that.
So what did you wind up telling that person to do?
Oh, well, I told him to go ahead and be like, bro, that guy's an asshole, don't play with him anymore.
Oh, okay.
And he was like, "It's my brother."
Yeah, no, it was someone it was an acquaintance from a friendly local gaming store that he had played other games with.
Interesting.
But yeah, so it was just very much like a weird, like, non-starter for Sean. Like, that's, you broke the core tenets of the hobby. You like showed up with your competitive raffle stomp list and obliterated the guy who literally doesn't know what he needs to roll to hit you with a bolt gun. You don't do that. So, but even worse
That's
than that.
not good hobby stewardship.
No,
It's
not at
not
all. Not at
good hobby stewardship. And speaking of hobby stewardship, this is in no way, I don't know how to segue into what we're talking about. We're going to take a look at the new sisters. Starting with the McFarlane. You know what? I got to fix that because the screen is too zoomed in. Let's make this a little smaller, shall we? So we can actually see what we're looking at. We got the new McFarlane toy, which is the new sister. That's come out. And along with that, they also have the new VR game for Sisters of Battle, which hopefully will be on the Oculus. And I can do a review of that. And then they have this new sister model, which is a fairly dynamic, kind of cool pose, holding the, rosary equivalent with a plasma gun. So it seems like sisters are getting a little bit of love, even though they don't need it, because they just got a whole bunch of new stuff, and we're still waiting for other armies to get updated.
Yeah, I see them doing more of this kind of like throwing kind of multiple armies a little bone. Like, they did the whole little preview, right, that had this sister and that orc model, that Dark Eldar model, the Death Guard model, just kind of like all flash. And I think that they might just, like, as the new codexes come out, just drop maybe like, 1, 2 new models. Just give them a little something to make you want to
taste.
buy that codex. Yeah.
A little tease.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, if you got, just think about it, and I don't know what the logistics are behind it, but if there was a pre-release or if there was a new release of almost anything that was a playable item for your army every month, that'd be pretty dope. Maybe every
Sounds
2
like
months or every
Marvel
quarter.
Crisis.
Who cares?
So this meme is for Michael. D&D in
Okay.
2019, everybody sitting around a table. D&D 2020, everybody virtual reality. D&D. That's just for you. You probably can't see it, but I just want you to know that I put that up for you.
You have to call it D&Z, Dungeons and Zoom.
Oh man, that's awesome. I love it. There is a new piece of Nurgle terrain. I was tricked last week into thinking that there was a new Death Guard army or unit turned out not to be true. But there is actually a Death Guard building, which has been spotted. So it does look like Death Guard is going to get some love pretty soon.
Well, they have their codex coming out in December. They do have a new unit. It's a character model that looks like some sort of Plague Spewer type champion, because he's holding a big old Plague Spewer. And then there is that terrain piece that's going to be coming out. So no longer will they just have the feculent gnarl moths, the poop trees from the Nurgle demon side. And we'll see if there's something else.
And then I just put up your link, Aaron, for the comic book.
Yeah, so I have not read the 40K new comics. This particular review gives some decent praise to it. I checked out some of the art. It looks pretty cool. I don't know, like, it's not really going to make me want to go and start reading comic books again. I used to be really into them, but just kind of fell out of favor. What wanted to bring this up here is, so there is a little bit of kind of slightly interesting lore in here, and change to lore. Marneus Calgar is not actually Marneus Calgar.
Oh, really? What?
The chapter master.
Spoiler.
Yeah, you were supposed to say spoiler alert before you said
Well,
that.
it's in this article, so spoiler alert.
I spoiled it.
Yeah, I spoiled it, guys. So there's stuff in here that kind of does change the lore a little bit, and I'm just really interested if they're going to do more stuff that really changes the lore that could have some sort of impact actually on the universe, or is this going to be kind of more like the Space Marine Kiddo series, where it's just kind of like, here's some stuff that has the lore, but it isn't really tied into everything truly.
I get the distinct feeling from the artwork and the images I've seen of this comic book that this is not going to be like the Space Marine Kiddo stuff.
Yeah, I don't think so
I
either.
tend to agree.
Well, gentlemen, we are approaching that hour-and-a-half mark. I have finished my truck entirely, and the one guy that's going to go on it, I didn't glue him on, so I can prime and paint him separately like a professional, because I'm a professional.
Mm-hmm.
So that is... that leaves me with just like 4 more boxes to build for the Gene Stealers, and maybe like 30 models to paint, and I'm going to be done.
I feel really good about that.
Yeah, I'm getting really excited. Sean, where are you at?
I am doing the weapon loadout and all that fun stuff on top of the ATV. Very much like painting, I take a tremendously long amount of time to do everything. My bolter holes are drilled, so on and so forth. Everything's super clean. But I'm very happy with it so far. I got to figure out what base it's going to go on, because I'm not a... If I could put something on a base, I will.
Aaron, where are you at?
So I clipped everything off, cleaned up all the mold lines, which there's a surprising amount of mold lines on this kit. And now I am building the models, and I have basically the legs and chests together for 4 of them, about to be 5.
And Josh, we got
Take a
some.
look.
We got some.
Just got to finish the base.
They are looking good, little and
Nice.
big, little and big. It looks like Michael just left. He's already done. Michael's just like, I'm not gonna tell you guys what I'm doing.
Yeah, Paul's taking off. It's 4 a.m. where he's at. Zayden 5 a.m. in Sweden. Jeez,
Ooh.
Louise.
Yeah.
Thanks for sticking around. Both of you
man.
guys. Our overseas contingent holding strong and steady.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us once again. Thank you for switching from Sunday to Wednesday. That was a big help for us because Josh was able to celebrate his birthday with his IRL family, and now he got to celebrate his birthday with his online family, so we are all wishing him a happy birthday. He, of course, already opened all of the gifts that we gave him earlier, but things for you to be aware of. We're going to have a bunch of painting tutorials coming up for Marvel Crisis Protocol. We're going to start doing some battle reports again using Tabletop Simulator for Marvel Crisis Protocol. I'm going to try and set up some Heroes of the Atari cluster and X-Wing, see if we can get some X-Wing games going, if that is possible at all. And as always...
We'll see you on the table.
Oh, he just did the whole thing. Cool.
The whole thing.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, all.